Guys, there are spoilers for this film and this review. So if you don't want to get stranded in the wilderness, go out with film and come back. I've been warned.
Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Ryland. So yeah, this is going to be a great time. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Ticket Tuesday, Sunday edition. This week we watched Hundreds of Beavers, written and directed by Mike Cheslik. It is a slapstick comedy adventure film, and I will say this is probably one of my favorite comedies I've seen in the last few years. It is absolutely hilarious, and I think there's just so much enjoyment to be had from this film. But before I go on a whole tangent, why I love this film, I'll tell you why I love this film and more. Back to the house.
And welcome back to another episode of Ticket Tuesday, Sunday edition. This week, we watched Hundreds of Beavers, released in 2022. It is a slapstick adventure comedy. It was directed by Mike Cheslik, I believe it's Cheslik. I think it's Cheslik. Written by Mike Cheslik and Ryland Tews, who is also the star of this film, the starring main character of this film, which, if you also didn't know about these two, I reviewed their previous film as a filmmaking duo, The Lake Michigan Monster, or just Lake Michigan Monster, which had Ryland as the director, but they both still wrote it, so I think they're quite the filmmaking duo, and I think I'm just going to jump straight into this. I think this is probably one of the best comedies I've seen. I think this and Naked Gun are probably the funniest comedies I've seen in years. I think it's mainly because they're just stupid and fun, and I think this film falls under a different category of dumb and fun. And I think it's... Before they played this film, they played a Looney Tunes short beforehand. And I think that really fit, because this film is basically just a feature-length Looney Tunes short. And I think what really benefits it is that it just has so much energy, right? There's a lot of just unbridled energy in this film. And I think the main actor, Ryland, he is super expressive. He's like, they're all basically living cartoon characters. And I love the gimmick of, like, the animals are just dudes in mascot suits. I always love whenever they kill them. Because he's a hunter, he's a trapper, right? So when he hunts them and he kills them, they have the little X eyes. And whenever he gives them in to the merchant, when they cut them up, their organs are like plush. And it's really like silly and goofy. And it's just inspired, right? I think this film is just absolutely hilarious. I think even with the jokes I didn't laugh at them because they weren't funny. It's just like, even when I didn't laugh, I'm like, wow, that's funny, right? That's pretty fucking funny. I don't think there was one joke in this film where I thought fell flat or was poorly executed. I think basically every joke was incredibly well set up. It was very well executed, and I think, like, the escalation, right? There were so many setups in this film that were very, very, I guess, well done in the payoffs. The payoff department, they paid off really well. And I think one of my favorite running gags had to be the running gag where the merchant, whenever the trapper, Ryland, whenever he visited the merchant to trade in his hunts, like his catches, at the end of the scene, he would always try to spit in a spittoon, but he would always miss, no matter what he did, because at first he would just spit at it and then he missed, and then he would, like, do tricks. He would shoot his tobacco out of his gun. He would, like, throw the spittoon in the air and then try to spit it in. He would do all these weird tricks, but it would always miss. They even did a bit where the merchant tried to spit his tobacco in Ryland or in the trapper's face, and then he used the spittoon, and the tobacco went zoop, and then it swooped up. But then at the end of the movie, the ultimate payoff, because they had been doing this the whole movie, at the end of the movie, he finally spit out the tobacco into the spittoon, and it got in there. It got in there. And I know it's just like, there's so many moments like that where there's like this, since he's killing beavers the whole time to, you know, sell to the merchant, because he's in love with the merchant's daughter and he wants to marry her. But the merchant says the only way he can marry her is to give him hundreds of beavers, right? And that's where the name of the film comes in. He has to kill 100 beavers, and it's not like he can, like, take in a couple. No, he has to take in, like, hundreds of beavers all at once to the merchant, right? So he goes on, like, a beaver killing spree, right? Where he's just hunting all these fucking beavers. But eventually, throughout the whole film, fucking Beaver, Watson, and Holmes... fucking Holmes and Watson beavers were investigating murders the whole time, and they thought that he was, like, Frankenstein, like, turning these dead beavers into monsters, and there was, like, a whole court case scene where he got arrested by the beaver police. Even saying that out loud, it's like, in the whole court scene, they're just going, and he's just like, what are you saying? I don't know what you're saying. But it's so funny, even when he doesn't know what they're saying, there's even a point where he goes, what? It's like, oh man, I didn't do that. Basically, even though he doesn't know what they're accusing him of. I just thought, like, there's so many, like, fun dynamics with how, like, I think it's just like classical slapstick, I guess is a good way to show it. And I think this film kind of proves that slapstick should still be popular, right? People still find it funny. Like, even younger people still like old Warner Brothers shorts. People still like Looney Tunes. Why isn't slapstick more prevalent? I mean, people still like the Three Stooges. People still like all these classic slapstick comedy, like, sketches and bits and gigs. Why isn't there more movies like this? Whenever movies like this come out, people are like, oh, this is hilarious. This is amazing. There should be more movies like this. And then there never is. It just really confuses me. Because I think this is like the purest comedy out there. Because you don't need to be a glowing brain genius, you know, to understand the jokes in this. But I think that's the beauty of it. Beauty and simplicity. Like, I think, obviously, smart jokes and, like, clever jokes can be good. But sometimes you just need to watch a movie like this and just get a fuck ton of enjoyment out of it by just laughing with it at how dumb and how goofy it all is. But in a good way, right? It's dumb and goofy on purpose. And I don't know, there's so much about it that I really like. There's another, I know this is basically me just talking about the jokes that I find funny, but there was another joke that I found funny where the trapper was tracking these rabbits I think they stole something of his, and he was tracking them, and then eventually they had a wedding, and then there was, like, a giant bunny orgy, and then they had they had kids, and then the mother died, and then the dad died, and then there were the two baby rabbits that were there, and it looked like the trapper was gonna be sympathetic towards them, and it just cuts to him cooking them on a spit. And it's just so ridiculous. Like, you don't see it coming. It's, like, super unexpected. But it's great. And those are the first rabbits that he catches in the film. Like, he fails to catch the rabbits the whole time. And then the first time he catches them is innocent baby rabbits. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's like, some people call it black comedy. Maybe the baby rabbit thing is a little dark. Maybe it is a little dark. But I think, I don't know. I'm just rambling here. I don't want to spoil everything for you, because I think there is genuinely so much enjoyment to be had with this film. And I think genuinely you should just watch this film. Now, if you could watch this in theaters, if there's a theater near you playing it, absolutely go and watch it. If you can see this in theater, absolutely do it. Because I saw this in an absolutely packed theater, and it was just amazing, the atmosphere of it. Like, with every joke, just the eruption of laughter. Like, just so many people were laughing at basically every joke. There was, like, not one moment of silence. It was incredible, and it's probably an experience I will never forget. It was probably one of my favorite theater experiences I've ever been to. I will probably talk about this as much as I talk about my experience with, say, Skinamarink. Again, this is up there with some of my favorite theater experiences ever, and it's always with the crowd. I think with a good crowd in a theater, you can always have an amazing time. So if you have the opportunity, if this film is playing in a theater near you, I absolutely think you should just drop what you're doing and go out and see this film with a packed theater, and I think you will truly get an unforgettable experience like I have. But even if you can't, unfortunately, I still think you should maybe get a couple friends together, and you should take a movie night. And I think this film is better watched with other people, because it's nice watching something funny with friends or family, right? I don't know if you should watch this with your parents or your kids or anything. It's not that kid-friendly. But with friends, I think this would be an absolutely great time. Just watch this with someone. I beg you, do not experience this film alone. However, with all that being said, if you can't tell already, I highly, highly recommend this film. And I think it is probably one of the best comedies, or probably one of my favorite films I've seen in the past few years. Absolutely loved it. And with that being said, I think I would rate this film an 8.5 out of 10. And, yeah, I think I've said what I need to say without trying to spoil too much. And hope you guys liked this video. Share with friends, subscribe, turn those notifications on, comment on what you liked it. And I'm on TMHD, off to trap hundreds of beavers. You know, I think that it's saying something when you're watching a movie, and at the end, a guy spits into a spittoon, and it's like a big moment, and like the whole crowd cheers because of it. That's how you know you're doing something right. That's all I'm saying. Because it was like a packed theater, and everybody like exploded when he spit the tobacco into the spittoon. You're doing something right as a writer if you can get somebody to cheer over that. All I'm saying. We are in the Redford Theater. This is the historic Redford Theater. Opened in 1928 right here in Detroit, Michigan. It's a very nice, quaint little theater. I think it was a very nice experience all around. Give it a visit if you're ever around in Detroit. Check out the Redford Theater. You won't regret it. Also support your local theaters.